Ever wished you could just absorb Spanish like you did, your first language?
Mm.
Well, we're diving into Rocket Spanish today,
Okay.
using info straight from their website
Yeah.
to see if it might be the key to finally mastering the language
Right.
of tapas,
Mhm.
tango, and
Yeah.
I will travel.
I think that's something a lot of people are looking for.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to travel to a Spanish-speaking country
Exactly.
and be able to speak with the locals? I mean,
Yeah.
that's a dream for a lot of people.
It is. It's interesting how Rocket Spanish positions itself, though.
Yeah.
They seem to be aiming for, like, a much deeper level of fluency
Right.
than, like, your average language app.
Yeah, it's not just about, like,
Yeah.
being able to order a coffee or something
Yeah.
like that.
Right.
They're talking about connecting with the culture
Yeah.
on a deeper level.
Exactly.
Like being able to,
Mhm.
discuss, I don't know, like a film with a friend who is a native Spanish speaker.
Yeah, they talk about understanding movies without subtitles
Yeah.
and being able to chat with locals. Like, it's just second nature.
Right.
I mean, that definitely speaks to me.
Yeah.
But what makes them different
Right.
from, like, every other language program? How do they actually, like...
Yeah, how do
Then,
you get you there?
Yeah.
Well, one thing that stands out
Mm-hmm.
is their focus on interactive audio lessons.
Okay.
And these aren't your typical,
Okay.
like dry, repetitive drills.
Right.
They use a technique called dynamic immersion
Okay.
to make you feel like you're actually in a conversation.
Interesting.
Yeah, and picking up the language
Yeah.
organically.
So it's more than just,
Yeah.
memorizing verb conjugations,
Yes.
right? That
Yeah.
sounds a lot more engaging.
Right.
But do they talk about how that works?
Yeah, so they explained that they use a combination of native speakers.
Realistic scenarios
Okay.
and clever repetition
Yeah.
to help your brain naturally absorb the patterns of the language.
Interesting. So they're trying to
Yeah.
recreate the way you learn your first language.
Yeah, in a much more structured and efficient way.
Yeah.
Plus, they also have voice recognition technology to
Okay.
help you nail your pronunciation.
So it's not just about learning the words.
Right.
It's about training your ear and your tongue to work together.
Yeah.
And they weave in cultural insights
Yes.
into the lessons as well.
So you're not just learning, like,
Yep.
dry grammar rules.
Right.
You're getting a feel for the humor, the customs,
Yeah.
even like the gestures
Oh, wow.
that make up
Yeah.
the Spanish-speaking world.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be able to
Right.
order a meal,
Yeah.
but it's a whole other level to understand why things are said a certain way.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
the cultural context behind things.
Ah.
It seems like you're aiming for a much more
Yeah.
well-rounded understanding.
And they back up their claims
Yeah.
with some impressive social proof.
Right?
They've been around for 20 years.
Wow.
They have a 4.7 star rating
Okay.
from over 5,000 reviews.
So they've had plenty of time to refine.
Yeah, and in fact, they were one of the pioneers of online language learning.
Wow.
They launched their first
Yeah.
fully digital program back in 2004,
Wow, that's a long time ago.
long before most of us were using smartphones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they've had a lot of time to adapt to the changing tech landscape.
Right. So,
But, a lot of language programs make big promises.
of course, yeah.
What's the real evidence
Right.
that Rocket Spanish actually delivers?
Well, they actually share some really
Oh, cool.
specific success stories
Uh-huh.
on their website. So, for example,
Chris M. from the UK
okay.
calls Rocket Spanish
Yeah.
the best he's used in decades of language learning.
Wow, that's high praise.
Yeah, and there's another one from Patrick C. from Ireland
Okay.
who says it's the best language learning app in its field.
Wow. So people are seeing real results.
Yeah.
I'm curious, though.
Yeah.
Do they only feature
Oh.
testimonials from, like, younger learners?
Yeah.
Or do they address the elephant in the room?
Yeah, the whole
I'm too old to learn a new language thing.
Right.
Because let's be real,
Yeah.
a lot of us have that fear lurking
Yeah.
in the back of our minds.
Of course.
So do they address that at all?
They do. They tackle that head on,
Okay, good.
which I appreciate.
Yeah.
They point out
Yeah.
that adults
Mhm.
often have advantages when
Okay.
it comes to learning a new language.
How so?
We're better at strategizing.
Okay. Understanding grammar concepts
Uh-huh.
and staying focused on our goals.
Right. Okay.
Plus, there's a ton of research showing
Yeah.
that learning a new language can actually boost your brain power
Right.
as you age.
That's like a mental workout.
Exactly.
Right. Helps keep your brain sharp.
Keeps you sharp, yeah.
But do they give any
Yeah,
real-life example?
they do.
Okay.
They have a story from Joel A.,
Okay.
who was hesitant
Uh-huh.
to start learning Spanish later in life,
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way.
but ended up feeling empowered by the process
Okay.
and even used his new skills at work.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
So it's never too late
No, absolutely not.
to learn something new.
No.
And what I find really compelling is
Yeah.
that they highlight the cognitive benefits.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
So, for example,
Yeah.
they explain how it can improve memory,
Right.
enhance problem-solving skills,
Yep.
and even boost your multitasking abilities.
So it's about more than just being able to order tapas in Spain.
Brain booster.
Yeah, it's about investing in your long-term brain health.
Exactly.
That's pretty powerful.
Right.
Okay, so we've talked about the method,
Yeah.
the cultural aspect, but
Yeah.
let's get down to
Let's do the practical.
practical stuff.
Right.
Does Rocket Spanish mention anything about how the program is structured? Do you have to follow a rigid path?
Yeah.
Or can you
They actually
learn at your own pace?
emphasize the flexibility of the program.
Okay.
You get lifetime access.
Oh,
So you can take breaks,
okay.
revisit lessons,
Yeah.
and learn at a pace that suits your lifestyle.
That's a huge relief.
Yeah.
Because sometimes life throws you curveballs.
Right.
The last thing you need is the pressure of
Yeah.
a strict learning schedule.
Yeah. Hanging over your head.
Right. Especially with languages, I feel
Yeah.
like that can be really daunting for people.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But does it actually work across all devices?
They mentioned that it's accessible
Okay.
on desktops, laptops, tablets, and smartphones.
Oh, wow.
So you can learn wherever you are
Yeah.
on any device.
That's the kind of flexibility I'm talking about.
Right.
Okay, so we've talked about the method,
Yeah.
the cultural aspect, the flexibility,
Yeah.
but what about the cost?
Right. That's the big question.
So some language programs can cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
Do they mention anything about pricing options?
They do.
Right.
They offer different packages
Yeah.
to fit various needs and budgets.
Right.
So you can start with level 1,
Okay.
which covers the basics.
Yep.
Then you can move on to levels 1 and 2
Yeah.
for a more comprehensive experience.
All right.
Or you can go all in with levels 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, so there's options.
Yeah.
But is it a subscription model?
Nope.
Or do you buy it once and you're done?
They emphasize
Oh.
that you pay once and get lifetime access.
Oh, wow.
So no subscription fees.
That's great.
Yeah.
And they throw in a bonus survival kit with every purchase,
Okay.
which has essential phrases to help
Yeah.
you, navigate real-life situations.
That's a great deal.
Right.
It seems like they're trying to make it as accessible
Yeah.
as possible.
Yeah.
But I have one more question.
Yeah.
Do they offer any kind of guarantee?
They offer a 60-day money-back guarantee.
So you can try it risk-free.
Yeah, risk-free.
Wow, they really seem to have thought of everything.
They do.
It sounds like they're pretty confident in their
Yeah.
program.
Right.
Okay, so we've covered a lot here.
We have...
Have the method, the
Yeah.
flexibility,
Yeah.
the cost, the guarantee.
Yeah.
But before we move on,
I want to remind you to check out the link in the description
yes,
if you want to explore Rocket Spanish for yourself.
absolutely.
There's a ton of information on their website.
Yes, tons.
And it's definitely worth a look
Yeah,
if you're serious about learning Spanish.
definitely. And they even offer a free trial.
Oh, that's a great point.
So you can get a feel for the program
Yeah.
before you commit.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were unpacking all the ways
Yeah.
Rocket Spanish aims to make language learning
Uh-huh.
more engaging and effective.
Right.
But I'm curious, do they go beyond
Hmm.
just explaining the what of the language?
Yeah.
Do they delve into the why
Right.
behind it, the grammar rules and the cultural nuances?
Yeah, that's a really insightful point, and it's something that Rocket Spanish seems to understand.
Okay.
They emphasize that they don't just
Yeah.
throw grammar rules at you.
Right.
They explain the logic and the reasoning behind them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So instead of just memorizing conjugations,
Yes.
you're learning to think like a Spanish speaker,
Uh-huh.
which is much more powerful for
Okay.
fluency in the long run.
It's like learning the why behind the what
Yeah,
unlocks a whole new level of understanding.
it does. It does.
Do they give any specific examples?
They actually highlight some feedback from users
Yeah.
who specifically praise Rocket Spanish for this approach.
Okay.
So, for example,
Yeah.
Michael S. from the USA
Okay.
mentions how Rocket Spanish helped him understand and make sense of Spanish
Oh.
in a way that other apps couldn't.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So when you understand the underlying structure of a language,
Yeah.
it becomes so much easier to internalize it.
Right, because you understand the rules of the game,
Exactly.
so to speak.
Yeah.
And you can then sort of
Yeah.
play it more strategically and creatively.
And it seems like they apply that same logic
Yeah.
to their cultural insights as well.
Exactly. Instead of just giving you like
Yeah.
a list of facts,
Yeah.
they try to help you understand the cultural context behind those facts.
So it's not just about knowing
Right.
that Spaniards eat dinner later
Yeah,
than
that.
Americans.
Yeah.
It's about understanding why that is.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there's another testimony
Oh.
from Leah R.
Yeah.
from the USA
Yeah.
who praises Rocket Spanish for this as well.
Yeah. She commends them for explaining grammar in a way that's thorough but not boring.
Okay.
And for providing insights into Latin American culture.
So it sounds like they're striking a good balance
Yeah.
between like the technical aspects and the cultural immersion.
Right.
It's like they're giving you the tools
Exactly.
to not just speak Spanish,
Yeah.
but to actually think and feel in Spanish.
That's where the real magic happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm curious,
Yeah.
do they address the common fear of like speaking out loud?
Speaking a new language out loud, because that's a hurdle.
It is.
For a lot of learners.
A very common fear.
Yeah, myself included.
Yeah, and Rocket Spanish acknowledges that. They actually emphasize how their system helps you overcome that hesitation and build confidence in your speaking abilities.
Well, how do they do that?
Well, they don't mention live tutoring specifically, but they do talk about using real-world scenarios in their lessons to help you practice speaking in a safe and supportive environment.
So it's like dipping your toes in the water.
Exactly.
Before diving into the deep end.
Yeah.
But do they offer any kind of support?
That's where their customer service comes in.
Okay.
They have a whole section on their website dedicated to highlighting
their commitment to customer support.
I was just going to say, so many companies seem to have abandoned that idea.
Yeah, it's a rarity.
What kind of support do they offer?
Well, they encourage you to email them, use their live chat, book a live demo, or even join their forum for help and advice.
That's a great idea. It's like having a built-in community of fellow learners and experts to support you.
And they seem to really pride themselves on being responsive and helpful. They even have a quote on their website that says, customer support is dead well. It is at most places.
I love that.
But they assure you that at Rocket Languages, customer service is alive and kicking.
It's so refreshing to see a company that actually values their customers.
Yeah.
And speaking of going the extra mile, they also emphasize that they're constantly evolving and improving the system.
Yeah. They've been doing this for over 20 years.
That's a really long time in the tech world.
They've got a lot of experience and data to draw on.
It shows a real dedication to staying ahead of the curve and making sure that their program is always using the latest, integrating the latest teaching methods and technology.
It's like they're constantly fine-tuning the engine to make sure that it's running smoothly.
Yeah.
That gives me a lot of confidence as a potential learner.
Right.
But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier.
Okay.
This idea that Rocket Spanish is about more than just learning to speak a new language.
It is. It's about the broader benefits. The personal growth. The cognitive enhancement.
The cultural
and it's about opening yourself up to new experiences and perspectives and ultimately becoming a more well-rounded individual.
Absolutely. And if you're ready to embark on that journey, remember to click the link in the description to learn more about Rocket Spanish and start your free trial today.
You can explore the program, get a feel for the method, and see if it's right for you. We have one more segment to cover where we'll delve into some of the specific ways Rocket Spanish integrates culture into its lessons.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to the final part of our Rocket Spanish deep dive.
All right.
We've explored a lot.
Yeah, we have.
From the interactive audio lessons to the impressive customer support and lifetime access.
Yeah, it's quite a package.
But Let's zoom out for a minute and talk about something that we keep circling back to.
Right.
This idea that learning Spanish or any new language is about so much more than just words and grammar.
Absolutely. It's like you're opening a window to a whole new world of experiences and ways of being.
It's like suddenly having access to a whole new library of movies, music conversations.
Exactly,
You're not just observing a culture anymore, right? You're stepping inside and experiencing it firsthand.
Yeah, and I think that can have a profound impact on your understanding of yourself and your place in the world.
Yeah.
You know, it challenges your assumptions, broadens your horizons, and it connects you to this global community in a way that few other things can.
I'm curious, though, how does Rocket Spanish specifically try to capture that sense of cultural immersion?
Right. Yeah, it's one thing to say it, but it's another to actually do it effectively.
Because it's one thing to, like, say you're integrating culture into your lessons, but it's another to actually do it effectively.
Yeah, and they seem to be very intentional about it. They don't just throw in random cultural facts here and there. They weave those insights into the very fabric of the lessons, connecting them to the language that you're learning.
So it's not just like a separate module on Spanish culture. It's like integrated into the way you're learning.
Yeah. So, for example, they might teach you how to order food in a restaurant, but they'll also explain the cultural customs surrounding dining etiquette.
So you're not just learning the words, you're learning the unspoken rules.
Yeah, the social cues that make up a culture.
Yeah, that's so important. Because sometimes those unspoken rules are the ones that trip you up the most. It's like knowing how to play the game, not just knowing the moves.
Exactly. And they also use...
And they use authentic materials as well. So things like music, movies, news articles, even excerpts from literature.
It's one thing to learn from a textbook, but it's a whole other level of engagement.
Yeah, you're being exposed to the real-life language used by native speakers.
It's like learning from the source.
Exactly.
It's about the aha moments when you suddenly understand a joke. Or you can follow a conversation. Or connect with someone on a deeper level because you share a language. And that's a feeling that goes far beyond just checking off a box on your to-do list.
Exactly.
It's about enriching your life. Expanding your perspective. Becoming a citizen of the world in a very real and tangible way.
And that's what makes Rocket Spanish so compelling. They seem to understand that language learning is not just a means to an end.
It's an end in itself.
It's about the journey, not just the destination.
Exactly.
It's about the connections you make, the experiences you have, the personal growth that comes from stepping outside your comfort zone.
And if that sounds appealing to you, I encourage you to click the link in the description to learn more about Rocket Spanish and see if it's the right fit for you.
They even offer a free trial. So you can dip your toes in the water before diving in. There's no risk involved. So why not give it a try?
Exactly.
You might just surprise yourself.
You might.
With what you can achieve.
Yeah, you never know until you try.
And who knows? Maybe someday soon you'll be sipping sangria in Seville. Chatting with locals. Like, it's second nature.
That's the goal.
Until next time. Keep these brains buzzing, keep exploring, and keep expanding your world one language at a time.
Thank you.